You worked yesterday, your other gig, but you couldn't make it to this show.
Took a little day and a half there, Dave.
I hope you regained your composure, your breath.
Well, after that for weekend last week, and I had to take some days off.
I really thought that was it. You had to step back, and you needed a mental health day. That's what you needed. The Dodgers. They're the champions of the world in baseball, 5 games. What a wild finish. The 5th inning last night, top of the 5th, was probably the worst defensive performance I have ever seen in the, and I probably started watching World Series when I was 6 or 7. So we're talking 55. Oh, wait, we're talking 65 years. 65 years, that's the worst performance defensively. They literally gave the Dodgers 6 outs, which cost them because it cost them 5 runs in basically the game. Even though they regained the lead, they did other stupid things. Besides the errors and the mental error on not covering first base by a guy who, by the way, was the first guy in, I think it was 28 postseason games back to September, where a single pitcher pitched 100 pitches. That's the state of the game today. Crazy. Garrett Cole didn't cover first base. He thought the ball was hit hard enough at first that Rizzo, who, is no spring chicken at 35 anymore, would be charging the ball and coming in, but he had to wait back on it because it had so much spin. That's on Garrett Cole. Mental error. Then we also saw catcher interference. That actually helped out the Dodgers in the 2-run 8th inning, which gave them the game. Also, Luke Weaver, where's his head? You're only allowed 2 throws to first base on a runner now. He threw for a 3rd time. And like the guy that had been leading off, he did dive back, but he's like going, what? And the first base coach immediately is going, you're going to second base. And the call was obviously made. That's officially a balk. Catcher interference, a balk, errors up the yin-yang. I think it was 500 runs, right?
That's
Total?
right. Yeah.
I mean, they really contributed to the Dodgers winning that. But that's one game. They were going to win the World Series anyway. There's no question in my mind. They were not going to win 4 in a row after they were down 3-0. Freddie Freeman, rightfully so. He is the MVP. He was good again in this particular game. Hit a single in that fateful 5th inning. So Freeman deserved it. What a good story, especially not just injuries with him and the ankle and all the extra work he had to do with treatments, but the fact that his son was so ill this past summer. I mean, it's really a terrific story. I'm happy for the Dodgers. And I'll tell you who else I'm happy for. A guy that's going to be on to talk about his experience at the World Series. Memphis's own Andy Fletcher will join us at about 10:28 today. Ron Higgins has the day off. The Grizzlies lose at home again. They lose to a Brooklyn team that I don't think is a super team. Dennis Schroeder looked like he was super last night, that's for sure. Oh, my God. How about the return
Zaire
to the FedEx Forum of Zaire Williams? 17. He had 4 steals in that game. I mean, and half the time the Grizzlies just gave to him. They had 22 points, 31 points off the turnovers. And here's the other thing I know is making the rounds. The Grizzlies were within a point in the 4th quarter early on. Jackson and Morant both go out. They have these minute restrictions. They play less minutes than superstars do by 6 or 7 minutes a game. Crazy. That's the philosophy. And I'm not putting this on Taylor Jenkins. I'm putting this on the front office because I think they pull the strings on minutes and rotations. I really do. And, my gosh. Anyway, that 1-point game became a 13-point game before Morant finally came back into the contest. You can't expect Jake LaRavia and Jalen Wells to keep your leads. I don't quite get it. I've said this all along, minutes restriction. First of all, they do this because they are trying to be proactive about injuries. If that worked, I'd go great. But it doesn't. They're the most injured team in the league. Anyway, they're now 2-3, and guess what? They've got a hungry Milwaukee.